Hi, this is Jacob Hornberger, president of the Future of Freedom Foundation, with a special message to our subscribers and our supporters and people who are interested in our work at the Future of Freedom Foundation. I wanted to talk to you about this major controversy that's erupted. Yesterday, Glenn Greenwald of The Guardian published an article disclosing a top secret surveillance scheme that the National Security Agency has had on the telephone records of the American people, thanks to a top secret court order that the so-called FISA court issued many years ago. This is the first time that anybody's learned of this top secret massive surveillance scheme. Now, keep in mind, we're not talking about like a search warrant that's targeting a certain person or group of people that are suspected of terrorism. We're talking about a court order that orders the telephone companies to disclose the telephone records of all Americans, including, of course, innocent Americans. This is incredible. I mean, this is the type of thing that we've been warning about here at the Future of Freedom Foundation, especially since 9/11, but even before. If you look, for example, at my blog today, I'm addressing this, and I'm not the only one. You see the libertarian educational foundations and think tanks, they're addressing this thing too. We in July 1990, in our monthly publication, Future of Freedom, that used to be called Freedom Daily, we devoted that in almost the entire issue to the vital importance of civil liberties. And then, especially since 9/11, I mean, we knew what 9/11 was going to bring here. We caught a lot of flack for it. But we were saying that this is where this thing's going to take us, that the feds are going to use this crisis to do what governments always do during crises. They take away the freedom of the American people. They infringe on the freedom of the American people in the name of keeping them safe. And this is where people end up trading their liberty for security. And so we published, countless articles condemning the Patriot Act. And guess what law the NSA and the FISA court used to justify this surveillance top secret court order? You got it, the Patriot Act. And so, those of you that have been with us a while know that in 2007 and 2008, we had two major conferences on civil liberties, the war on terrorism, foreign policy, talking about this type of thing. In fact, we're linking today to Glenn Greenwald speech because he was one of our featured speakers at those two conferences. And take a look at that speech. It was 2008. He was talking about FISA, the surveillance state. Greenwald's been doing this. This is why we invited him to speak at that conference. And if you look at the speakers at those two conferences, almost all of them have maintained a fierce and ardent devotion to civil liberties. I mean, that's why we chose them. We caught some flack for bringing liberals into, a libertarian conference, but we chose them very carefully because we knew that the liberals we were choosing, along with the conservatives we were choosing, were right on the same page as all the libertarian speakers. And so it turned out to be two fantastic conferences. That's why we put the videotapes online on our website. You'll recall we asked for your support to do that. It wasn't a cheap process. You helped us bring a new website into existence so that people can go there as a resource that want to study up on why FFF has been so adamant about the importance of civil liberties. And of course, last year we went on this tour with two college civil liberties tours where our aim is to raise the awareness of students, libertarians, liberals, conservatives. On our panel was Greenwald himself, along with Bruce Fine, a conservative, me, a libertarian, Jack Hunter, a conservative who worked with Ron Paul, so he's really libertarian. And so we were talking to, students who were liberals that were coming to listen to Greenwald, conservatives that were coming to see Fine, libertarians that were coming to see me. I mean, we're raising their awareness because all three of us were on the same page. And why? Well, here's a classic example. I mean, a top secret surveillance scheme. This is like communism. This is like what they do in Cuba. They monitor what everybody's doing because they're convinced that if they monitor everyone, they'll be able to ferret out, 2 or 3 guilty people. That's not what a free society is all about. A free society is one in which we monitor the government doesn't monitor us. And those of you that subscribe to Future of Freedom or know our work on our website know that I've written this 12-part series that I just recently finished called The Evil of the National Security State. And the whole idea is that this cancerous tumor that was grafted onto our body politic in the aftermath of World War II is a malignant tumor that is taking our country down. It's corrupting our values. It's taking us to the dark side, assassination, torture, secret prisons, and now this massive surveillance scheme. And so what we've got to keep doing here is not just talking reform. Oh, Obama's going to come back and say, well, maybe we ought to reform the FISA court or reform the law or whatever. It's time to start talking about a free society and whether a free society can exist within the context of a national security state apparatus. And of course, our position, it can't. And so that's what we do here at the Future of Freedom Foundation. In a few weeks, you'll be getting a special fundraising letter from us where we're asking for your help to give us the resources to let us do more, especially with respect to these student groups, going on their campuses and talking about both economic liberty and civil liberties and why they're so vitally important. So I wanted to bring this message to you because of the importance of it. Greenwald was asked, and his blog's worth reading. If you look at my blog today, I've got all the important links. In fact, we're linking to Greenwald's speech at the Future of Freedom Foundation conference. We've got his speeches from our College Civil Liberties tour, but I also linked to his blog, and it's worth reading today, where he talks about how important whistleblowers are, and people have asked him, well, do you think the government's now going to target you? And Greenwald says, I'm not concerned about anybody investigating me because right now the whole world is looking at the U.S. government, and that's where we need to be examining, and that's where the examination is now taking place. And it's that independence of mindset that we think, what America needs, instead of this deference to authority every time they quote national security, everybody just rolls over. We need an independent mindset. You never know when ideas on liberty can sweep across the country. I mean, a catalyst like this can wake people up to the dangers of a national security state. And who knows? You can have ideas sweep across the country and suddenly and unexpectedly inflame people with passion for liberty and a love for liberty. And that's what we're about here at the Future of Freedom Foundation. So I hope you'll give careful consideration to the special fundraising letter that you'll be getting. We need your support. In order to do what we do, we need the financial resources that you provide us. And if you've never donated to us before, take a look at our work. Give me a call. You want to talk about what we do here at FFF? Man, I'm here available to you. 703-934-6101. Drop me an email at jhornberger. Ask me whatever about what we do and why we do it, and I'll be more than happy to take the time to do that. So thank you very much for tuning in. Thanks for your great support, and thank you especially for your devotion to a free society.